So I was born in the house that I'm living in now, in the village. It was a bit smaller than it is now, so there was like less housing and everything, so it was quite a tight-knit community sort of thing. So everyone knew everyone, all the kids knew each other, and it was kind of like your parents would let you go out to like any time of night, and they'd be like, oh, it's fine, we know that as long as you're back before the sun's back, that's fine. My granddad and my gran, they've been friends with Graham and Maureen for years. They went to parties together and stuff, but also my granddad used to do all the painting and decorating for here. And then also when Amy and Richard took over across the road, done all the painting and decorating there. And then my uncle Richard, he was the first of my granddad's children to work here when he was, I think in his teens. He worked in the bar, not really suited to it. Not in a bad way. It's like all my parents are sort of like painters or fishermen. He ended up being a fisherman. And then my mum started working here, same thing. Not very great at it either, but still tried it. On her first shift, she always said that she went over to a customer with a bowl of soup and it fell all over the customer on her very first day, and she was mortified. So then I was the next one in the family to work here. So I'm her daughter, so that's 3 generations down. I came in with my mum for some food or something, and I was like looking for a job at the time, and she was like, oh, we'll just go and ask Richard. So I went across and I was like, have you got any jobs going? And he was like, yeah, and then had an interview and then started here. I'd worked here for a couple of years or 3 years, and then I went down south to study, so I was away for about 5-6 years. Worked a few different jobs, came back to Edinburgh, worked in town centre and everything, and then I'd always said I wouldn't come back to the village because it was so small, and when you're younger you think, oh, I want to go out and do I want to travel and everything. And then the older I got, I was like, I really just want something quiet and a nice environment, and I ended up moving back to the village. And it was, I had just left a job in town. I hadn't planned to, but it was something that I wanted to like move away from. And I'd messaged Richard that night and I says, I know you're probably not looking, but is there any chance you have a job going? And Richard had said, no, but 100% I'll make the space for you. So there was no jobs going, and he took me straight back on, and I've been working here since then. 2-3 years now back in the village, but yeah, it's been great. So it's just such a nice environment to work in that I've always been happy to come back. And Richard and Graham have always welcomed me back every time.